our mantra, helping managers, leaders, and entrepreneurs get better at what they do. This is our attempt to do that each week. And so let's go through the articles and share with you some of the insights that I talked about earlier this week. All right, the next article that we talked about was Psychological Safety at Work, Identifying Burnout Boundaries and Behavioral Red Flags. Something to note about this article is that, burnout isn't really just an employee problem. And I think for many generations of workers, when they see somebody who is experiencing burnout, they kind of put all of that on the individual. Burnout isn't just an employee issue. It really is kind of a signal to leadership that maybe something is not right. And this isn't to say that every leader is to blame for employee burnout, but sometimes some of the things that we're doing on the job, the requirements we have, the environment we've created, the resources that we may not have, the number of people doing the job, there's a whole series of things that could lead up to it. And, there is an old saying in statistics, right? One data point does not a trend make. But, when we have more than one data point, when we have more than a few people experiencing similar symptoms, it's something that we really got to pay attention to and dig into to kind of find out what might be driving that. For the worker, silence is not safety, right? Do not feel like speaking up and saying something and being vocal about it is, somehow going to label you in a negative light. And for leaders out there, it's important to make sure that we don't set that stage, right? There is a time when we need to be head down and focused on the objective and working hard. But we can't do that in the absence of some of the things that people may go through while trying to get there. And not really creating an environment where people don't feel like they can speak up or, kind of have an honest conversation about their burnout symptoms with their leadership. So, ways that we can kind of better detect burnout, ways to kind of act upon it early, and normalizing those boundaries that are associated with burnout. This article gets into all of that. So if you like those kind of things, as I mentioned, you like having insight and information around topics like that, go check out dailypitch.news. Those are a couple articles we put out this week. Maybe it'll help you in some of the knowledge that you're trying to acquire around those things.